Really great to see you again.
Thank you. How long has it been?
It's 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still look good.
Do you ever? You know that, though.
Yes, but you should see my mom.
She looks even better.
Yep. She's 92 and she is an ass kicker.
Wow. Wow. So what is your secret?
It's lots of makeup and my grandmother's jeans. And I don't mean these guys, but
Yeah.
and my mom.
Right.
So, and lots of makeup.
Lots?
Oh yeah.
Like
Just troweling. You can just trowel it.
what do people do when they see you?
They shake my hand. They ask me if they can hug me.
Right.
And then a couple of people.
They bow. Yeah.
But I think it's because I'm so old. Because I've been here, they probably weren't born when I started. And they're big fans. And sometimes people just don't know how to approach me. They just don't. But I mean, they feel comfortable. They're just not sure how to do it.
Yeah. What do you think they should do? What should I do? I didn't know what to do.
Shut up. They should just say, hey, Cher.
Yeah.
Or I like hugging people.
Right.
But also sometimes, like, I take pictures when I'm at work, people shake. So I have to, we're taking pictures, and I have to first hold them and grab them and say, you have to stop doing this because when you get the picture, you will not like that you were shaking. So we have to calm down, and we just have to calm down. And they do, and then we take the picture, and they're fine.
They're shaking because they're so nervous.
Yeah.
Wow. Right?
Yeah. I was like that with Katharine Hepburn.
But she was shaking too.
No, well, yeah, that's true. But no, I was nervous, and Audrey Hepburn, and and there have been different people that I sat with Marlon Brando from New York to Los Angeles. I was ready to give up my whole life.
Really?
Yes.
Because you didn't sleep with him.
No.
Because I saw the list
You are so. How could you ask me that?
Well, no, I saw the list of people you...
That I should have slept with, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's... Well, it's my list, but I'm not sure that was the caption.
Ah.
I just thought of it. It makes sense to me now.
Right. And Elvis.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Probably. I just can't think of it. If I think of it while we're doing it, I'll tell you.
No. You have a new album.
Yes.
At the risk of seeming sycophantic.
Right.
It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. And as I listened, I kept thinking, I'm not sure if you've ever sounded better. What do you think?
Well, I think this is what my doctor told me. And I actually have to give it to my teacher, Adrian Angel. I have two teachers, Evelyn and Adrian. And
voice teachers.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't have voice teachers before I found Someone album. And my doctor the other day, I went in because I was raspy and nervous, and he said, you know what? You have the vocal cords of a 28-year-old girl. And I went, come on, Dr. Nasseri, I'm sick, to stop screwing with me.
Right.
And he said, no, I'm going to show you vocal cords, okay? These are young girls. And he said, look at that. They're not complete. They're not clean edges. They've got red stripes on them. Someone's got a node. And he said, it's freaky. And I'm the last person who thinks I should be singing now. I mean, if you would have asked me, will you be singing at 72? I would have said, I won't even be here.
Why ABBA, though?
It was just a freak. It was a freak. I was in the movie. It was just the most bizarre thing. My old agent, who now is the head of Universal and who's like one of my closest friends, he was in my life at a time I really needed a friend, and he was always there for me. And his name is Ronnie Meyer. I think people call him Ron. And he called me one day and he said, You're going to do this. And he didn't say what. You're going to do this. It's good for your career. You're doing Mamma Mia too. And he hung up. And I didn't. He's the only person who could have done it. I didn't have the nerve to call him back.
Right.
So I just did it.
So you go and you do the movie.
Right.
And you sing Fernando.
Right.
And you sing, what, 2 ABBA songs?
Right. I sing the beginning of Super Trooper.
Right. And then, but is that enough to say, well, I'm just going to do a chunk of their catalog?
Well, if you knew me better, you would know that that's exactly. I thought, you know what, this could be fun.
Yeah.
And I liked the songs, and they're more complicated, and they're more difficult to sing, and Benny thought it was a great idea, and I just thought, I'm going to give this a go.
One of the ABBA
Benny
guys.
Bjorn, Bjorn. But they both liked Fernando a lot, so
Right.
I was very pleased. And so Mark and I, my producer that I've been with since Believe, we figured we'd just try it. And the first song we did was One of Us, which I think might be my favorite song. Maybe One of Us in Chiquitita.
And I thought, this is fresh and it's different. And I think for a whole audience, they're going to say, I've never really heard this before. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I tried to do, like, I didn't want to disregard them, but I wanted to be myself. And then I realized, just by virtue of the girls we had such different voices, you know, which was kind of hard sometimes because they've got like ranges that go up to Ima Sumac, you know, and so some of the songs I struggled with, and some of the songs fit me like a glove.
Right.
And some of the songs, people said, don't do those. Don't do those. Waterloo and Mamma Mia. And I just said, I have to, because I saw Muriel's Wedding. And that's what made me a huge ABBA fan.
Right. So in your life, when people say don't do that, what's your usual response?
I'm not good at don't do that. I mean, I listen later, but I'm just not good at don't do that. I'm so stubborn, it's ridiculous. I'm so stubborn, it's embarrassing.
To your own detriment, or does it work for you?
Oh, I'm sure sometimes. It's a double-edged sword because, you know, sometimes it can be dicey.
Yeah. For us who don't live with you or know you intimately, well, all we understand is every time something happens to Cher, she's still standing. I mean, that's what we think when we think of you.
You know, the cockroaches story. When the world comes to an end, there'll only be cockroaches and Cher.
I have a feeling we're going to use that. I guess this is what, when you come to do an interview and you're Cher, this is what you look like.
Yeah.
Like $1 million from head to toe.
Well, like, what am I going to do?
Right.
Come here the way I go around at home? I go around at home like I'm just raggedy.
Schlubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean,
Yeah.
but sloppy.
Gotcha.
I've got shirts. My favorite shirt is 30 years old.
Do you wear it in public ever?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, people have pictures of chronicling this shirt, you know, for a million years, and I don't care, and I don't care how many times I wear it.
Right.
And I hate, one of the things I really hate and just pisses me off is that because everything is disposable, like once I wear this, I'll never be able to wear it again, but that's, you know,
Right.
that's, you know, dumb. And so I don't want to play that. You know,
Right.
that's a young girl's game.
Yeah. Maybe let's talk about Cher the musical.
Okay.
Yeah. So you opened it in Chicago.
Right.
It's going to open on
Right.
Broadway this fall. Is it ready?
No, it's absolutely not ready. It's on its way. It has some really good things. It has some really good things. You know, I mean, there's some things that are kind of staggering, but it's not ready. You know, we're working on it. They're working on it. Also, you know, sometimes Broadway is not so interested in your story,
Right.
you know, like who you are. It's they sometimes they think that it's better to do something more exciting. But
Right.
there is nothing more exciting than the life I've lived, so I want to be honest. Also, my fans know who I am.
Right.
So so we have to be true, you know.
Yeah.
Bob Mackie did the thing. Bob Mackie gets a standing ovation in the middle of that show. He did a thing of all of my clothes. He just remade them, and all the women are wearing them, and it is a fashion show that you cannot believe.
There are people in the world who would go to see the show just for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you've pre-sold a lot of tickets right here.
Well, yeah, it's and he so deserves it. But there are fabulous things. The actors are great. The story is very, the way it's presented is very original. And there are still things that need to be worked out. But I mean, the actors are staggering. The guy that plays Gregory
Greg
Allman,
Allman, yeah.
I was sitting kind of in the back because I didn't want to make a big scene, which I ended up making a big scene anyway. But and he came on, and Sonny, and he came on, and I was just like, it gave me like, oh my God, this is too close.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, so these people are that good.
Right.
I was surprised.
How much control do you have?
I have enough. It's not exactly, but I have enough.
Right. Right. So I've been immersed in Cherland for the past couple of days.
Okay.
And I'm going through Academy Award, Grammy, Emmy, Golden Globe noms.
Cannes Film Festival. That's a big important one to me.
Do you have anything, and do you have any worlds to conquer yet?
Oh, I don't really. You know, Meryl told me once that.
This would be Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Meryl told me once that you do the job for the joy of doing the job. And when you're acting and you don't realize it, but later you find out it was really good. She and I have a scene on the porch in Silkwood, and it's really good. And then she said, and later if you get something for it, it's great. But you don't really go into the thing thinking more than I really want to be good today. I really want to be in the scene. I want to be honest.
It sounds like you two are pals.
The first film I ever made was with Meryl and Mike Nichols and Curdy. But I didn't know anything. I didn't know where you're supposed to end up, where your mark was. I didn't really know anything.
Yeah.
And Meryl was so fabulous first time I met her. And I was like puppy dog kind of. And we had the best time. We did some funny things. And just like on our own. But she's like the greatest person ever. And she would kind of give me hints and tips, and we hung together, and then we hung together after the film, and we talk, and we email all the time, and so she's like a person for me up there. Mm. It's like if I didn't know her, I would shake and hug her. I hug her anyway.
Right. How's your love life?
Well, right now it's kind of not doing anything because I'm really busy, but I learned something. It was a costly lesson, but I learned that you try to hide those things as much as you possibly can because it's such a strain for men to be Mr. Cher that you have to now, especially because there's nowhere you can go that's safe because everyone's got a camera. You know, there's nothing private. There's, you know, one night I went to the movies, and I don't know why I went alone, but it was in Malibu, so I just was there. And I thought, my God, everybody's talking on their telephone. But what I didn't realize was everybody was taking my picture. Mm. And then, like, when I'm on stage, everybody's got their camera. I see, like, thousands of cameras. But there's no safe space. So if you have a boyfriend, you have to kind of try to stay as quiet as you possibly can.
Right. Is that disconcerting for you when you're on stage and everybody's doing this as opposed to?
Well, I asked him the other night, I said, you guys, what's doing? I mean, like, what are you doing? Are you liking it through your cameras? Are you getting the experience, or you just want to take it home? And they were liking it. So look, it's not my generation.
Right.
I mean, I like having my phone, and I like being able to do stuff, and I like being able to tweet, but I'm not crazy to chronicle my life.
I heard you like to tweet.
Yes.
Yes. And I've read many of your tweets.
Yeah, some of them are nonsensical because I'm dyslexic. Sometimes I screw up so big time, and sometimes I don't know what they're talking about. But then everyone has gotten to be very kind. So if I screw up, they just go, "Okay, this is the deal, lady."
That's a Cher mistake.
Yes.
Right.
But I'm getting better. I still can't spell, but I'm getting better.
Right. Take it from reading your tweets, you're not a fan of the President of the United States.
No. I'm being so kind.
To learn more, go on
Yes.
Cher's Twitter site.
Right.
What gives you the most satisfaction?
Being a good person. Trying to be a good person. Why are you looking at me that way? Do they have a camera on you? Yes.
Yeah.
I hope they use that look.
I'm not sure I know what that means. Because here's the part of the thing is, so if you're Cher and you do, the last Cher tour and people line up for blocks and can't get enough of you, and then you do a movie and they can't get enough of you, and you're going to go to Australia or someplace and do a tour there, and you're running. You are working hard. And I'm just curious to know what the engine is. What's the engine that gets you up in the morning and says, let's go out there and do this?
Okay. This is name dropping kind of. And I'm sure she's not. Well, she might like it. She might not care. So we were doing a telethon. And Barbara was sitting next to me.
Barbara.
Yes.
Streisand.
Right. And she leaned over and she went, why are you doing this? Why are you working? Why are you working? And I said, because someday I won't be able to. It's that simple. Someday I won't be able to, and I don't want to not do it while I still like it. And it's a bitch sometimes, and it's hard, and sometimes I just want to stick needles in my eyes. But I like it. I mean, like when I was in that studio, I liked it. I like singing, and I especially like singing by myself or on stage rehearsing, because there's not enough. I have stage fright, but it's not enough to stop me. It's just enough to make me go, ah.
So you still do that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you're in Las Vegas and here's how many shows in a week or whatever, and have been doing it for
Right.
how many weeks, and still when it gets to be 9:30 or whatever the time is.
No, it happens like right before I go on stage, a
Right.
little bit before I go on stage.
Yeah.
And it's not insane, but it's enough so I feel it. And then the minute I start, I'm fine.
Because I guess that was the thing that I found when listening to your record. Because you said I like to sing. And I was listening to somebody who loved to sing.
It's what I always wanted to do. From the time I saw Cinderella, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Actually, when I saw Dumbo, I wanted to do it. My mom said, no, that's not going to happen. But when I saw Cinderella, I knew that's what I was going to be. I was 4 or 5. I remember meeting, I met Katharine Hepburn. I met her twice, actually. Once backstage at the Academy Awards. She was doing that thing for Spencer Tracy. And she walked by a whole bunch of us, and she just said, hey, kid. And then I met her at my doctor's office, and she was so vital. I mean, like, she was old, but she was very vital and very strong. And then towards the end, she wasn't, And I said, whether I like it or not, That's going to happen, you know. My mom's engaged. It's probably I've got a little bit of time, but it's going to happen, and I'm not going to like it.
Right.
So my mind's going to want to do stuff, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to. I can't do the things I did, you know, years ago. You know, when I was 50. So I don't like working as hard sometimes, but I always go, oh yeah, this is how I get myself in trouble. Someone says something, I go, oh yeah, that sounds like fun, and then you've committed yourself, and then you're doing it. But there are things. It's like I'm so happy that I say no to everything. First I say no, and then you can talk me into it, but I always get myself into trouble by saying that sounds like it could be fun.
Right.
I mean, when I did the national anthem, I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. I can't even tell you how terrified I was, shaking so much.
Right. So I want to read you something.
Okay.
So.
Is this a horrible thing?
No. It's personal.
Oh, okay.
And this morning, you know, just as word gets out among your friends that, oh, Harry's interviewing Cher today. And so we have a really, really good friend, one of our very best friends, who just celebrated her 60th birthday a couple months ago. And she and her gay partner live happily ever after together. And she wrote me this note because she said, I hear you're interviewing Cher. And she says, you can't measure her impact on the gay community, the lives she has saved, not overstating, not to mention the many ways she influences so many. She says, maybe when you interview her and when it's over, you can tell her thank you from me and all of us who are different and not accepted.
Oh, I understand that completely. I understand it completely because no matter what, I've always felt like an outsider. And so, also I knew two gay men when I was 9 years old. And I just thought, oh my God, they're more fun than any of my mother's other friends. And so there's always been this closeness, and I don't understand it. You know, I really don't understand it, but I get it. Or maybe I don't get it, but I understand it. It's one or the other. It's like it's ingrained in me. It's in my DNA. I was born to be this way with gay people.
Yeah.
You know, and I know, and you never think about it, but I've had gay guys especially just say, you know, when I was in Little Rock or when I was in Paducah or whatever, and I was hiding who I was, or my friend told me about a boy that she knows. He's a grown man now, but he had a Cher poster on his wall and his dad ripped it up and he got another one, you know, but he said at the time I was the only thing that was keeping him thinking, I have a future, I'm going to be somebody, it doesn't make any difference.